sick and hurt and got problems and somebody died, they're interested to buy insurance. But the old day-to-day kind of thing, they're interested in buying a second camper trailer or Winnebago or another car or go to the ball game. But to buy insurance is something we're going to do some other time. Identify the concerns. We already talked about some of the senior concerns, right? Identify some of the concerns that your lead copy would. If you would do me a favor, you all have a copy of a lead right now, an actual lead. In fact, you have two of them. You have two lead copies. You got a blue one, and you got one that looks like it comes from the IRS, right? Now, you laugh, but remember this lead? About 10, 15 years ago, this lead used to look like it came from the IRS. It actually had the wavy lines. It almost had like a Washington, D.C. return address. We used to get 22% back. 22% back. Now they took out the Washington Capitol building and took off the president's picture and made this a little bit legal now. So it's down to about 2%. But it still works. But it still works. And the idea behind this is called the snap apart. Why? Because for a consumer, they actually have to work at getting this open. I mean, they got to fumble around, they got to kind of tear things, and then they've got to kind of, you know, pull this back out of here. And so if they're interested in sending this back, they're working at it. That's a good direct mail trick, by the way. You make me work to get this open, and for the fact of the matter is, first of all, you got to get somebody to open the material. If they open it, we got a chance for them to read it. If they read it, we got a chance for them to send it back. That's the whole psychology behind this. Now let's open them up. Everybody open your leads up. Let's take a look at them. You look at your leads. Let's all take a look first of all at let's take the blue one, if I can use yours, Jack. Let's look at the blue one. What I want everybody to do is read this blue one. If you can get it open, see, it's a test. If it takes you more than 30 seconds, we got to send you back. So if you get the blue one, open the blue one. What I want you to do is quickly read through the copy in the blue one. Just read through the copy of the blue one. As you're reading through, take your pen if you have one and circle any buzzword or power phrase that kind of strikes you as something that is a pretty strong word if you were reading that in your own opinion, just your own opinion, what you think are some key words in there in your opinion. I see some of you circling everything. That's good. That's an easy way around it, right, in case of test. Now, what you're all doing right now, trust me, the average consumer is not going to do this, okay? Because you're reading it and rereading it, and you're underlining it and trying to use key words. The average consumer is going to glance at it, and they're going to pull the first word out of there that looks like it's interesting to them. If the word free's in there, if the word information's in there, they see something they like, they say, oh, boom, I better respond for that. That's the same day they're sending away for a Spiegel's catalog. So remember, they go through this, they get a lot of mail just like you and I have a lot of mail. So when they go through that port. So it's real important for you when you look at that. Now, let me ask you a question. How many, put up a Y or an N, take your Y out, the yellow Ys, how many would say, yes, this is an insurance lead? There's no doubt in my mind by reading it, it is an insurance lead. If you don't agree with me, then put up an N for no. You don't have to agree. How many think it's an insurance lead? How many are not sure? We don't have one of those votes. You either got to put a Y up or an N. All right, everybody get Ys, mostly Ys? Okay. Let me ask you what else. If you go back through this thing and you looked at that, Jack, what do you have? Give me a power word or phrase that you like, that you see in there.
Automatic Part B claims filing.
Automatic Part B claims filing. Okay, strong one. Who's got another one they want to share with us? Ron?
Government makes changes.
Getting a little bit strong there, right? All right, what we got for this one, John? That's a good one.
That's a good one, isn't it?
I'll come back. Let me go ahead. You look through there. Go ahead. Buddy, what do you have?
Discount package for prescriptions.
Discount package for prescriptions. Is that important to seniors? You bet.
Qualified agent.
Oh, a qualified agent. The guy likes that one, right? They're not sending anybody. They're sending a qualified agent, right? Good. So it's important to send a qualified agent. Now, I would think, based on a qualified agent, talking a little bit about Medicare, probably an insurance lead. Now, what separates this lead from other kind of leads, there's what they call generic leads. That's a lead that just says, hey, if I outlive my money before you die, send me a book and I'll send the card back. That's it. No insurance company name, no agent's going to call, nothing about insurance, send the card back. There's a lot of people doing a big time business in the insurance business with generic leads because they got creative enough to figure out a way how to use something very, very general and yet use it to get in. Because they're using the lead as a lead to get in, not a lead to sell insurance or qualified people. That's the difference. This lead, if you look at it, is actually qualifying itself. You're eliminating a bunch of people when they see the word agent. You see the word agent in the lead? A lot of people don't send the card back. Oh, agent, I'm not going to send the card back. Boom, that qualifies it automatically for you. Somebody starts to see insurance terminology put in there. That qualifies the lead. I'm not going to send the card back. So not going to do that. All right? When you're looking at the lead, also read this. Look at the copy. Look at the envelope, the reply card. If there's a free booklet, look at the free booklet. Don't fight the free booklet. Look at it. Identify buzzwords and power phrases. So I would read the lead one time. I kind of glance through it. Then I'd take the lead back out with a pen or a yellow marshal and I'd go through every word and indicate to yourself what are those power phrases or buzzwords that I happen to like. Because if you like them, you'll use them. Put them on the left side of your brain. Put it on the left side, say, okay, more food for thought right here. Then, what I'd like you to do right now, if you can write on the lead copy itself if you'd like, but just give me, let's answer the 3 questions we talked about earlier. Write a little opening script, if you would, that you would use that would answer 3 questions. Who am I? Why am I calling? And what's in it for me, the customer? Try to use some words out of that lead and write yourself a little quick script, if you would. Just go ahead and do that. Who am I? Why am I calling? What's in it for me? Don't make it real fancy, just real simple. Using some of the text right out of your lead itself. Pick out any words or words you want to use that if I said to you, you can make up a phone approach or a front door approach, but you have to use copy out of this lead. To do that, go ahead, and you can now identify yourself. And let's use XYZ Insurance Company for the company's name if you don't mind. Anybody want to volunteer? We got to, oh great, volunteer this early, that's fantastic. All right, let's go back here and get Jeff volunteer. All right, Jeff, take it over, your mic. It's your mic, go ahead.
I think my opening phrase would be, hello, I'm Jeff Toll with Company XYZ. I'm here to schedule your annual review.
Huh, okay, not too bad. I'm here to schedule your annual review. Not bad. Was it short? Pretty simple? 30 seconds or less? Yeah, now what do you think a customer could say? Joe, if I said I'm here to schedule your annual review, I'm on the phone.
Today's not a good day.
Today's not good, great. Tuesday better, Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Great, morning, afternoon, evening.
Morning.
Thanks, have a great day. Now, we all say, well, it's too simple. I'm not saying it's all that simple. What I'm saying is I think what Jeff did, he didn't talk about insurance, just said, I'm here to schedule your annual review. Hi, I'm so-and-so from XYZ Insurance Company. I'm here to schedule your annual review. What else could you say, though? What else could you come up with and say based on that copy that you see? Now remember, that copy is legal. It's been filed with the state. You can use the words and material in that lead copy, and that's important that you know that that's legal because you want to be legal when you're representing this. So what would you use, Lee? What kind of thing would you say?
I would go with the first part of it after I've said my name and stuff. Start off with the first part. Each year, the federal government makes changes in our federal Medicaid program, and then go from there. Okay,
great. Not bad. Good, good. See, because what you have, first of all, take a look at this. Let's look at the outside cover. Up in the left-hand corner, it identifies the company. So we know it's an insurance company, right? This is not a boutique or something. It's an insurance company. It's time to schedule your annual Medicare review. Pretty big letters, right? It's time to schedule, right, your annual Medicare review. Well, it's a pretty great line. Give me what's a buzzword or power phrase of that line? It's time to schedule your annual Medicare review. Time?
Annual.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Gene.
Annual.
Annual. How about your? Pretty strong word, right? It's your program, your review. Personalize it right away. It's not our review. It's not a company review. It's your review. Strong word. Annual. Okay, annual. I have annual checkups. We have annual this. We have, 3,000 miles, change your oil in your car. This is kind of your annual review to do this. Okay, and Medicare review. What kind of review? Medicare review. So a lot of strong buzzwords and power phrases in one sentence. And what does it say right below that? What does that little line say right in there?
The valuable health services discount.
Great. Now, what's the line right above the box, Lee?
It says this is not a government document.
Okay. Now we got a disclaimer on it. It's not from the government. This is not a government document. Okay. It's time for an annual review. So if I were calling you up and we just said, that's all you could use to make up your phone approach, just like we did right back here with Jeff. It's real simple. Hi, I'm Don Runge with XYZ Insurance Company. Mr. Jones. Great, Mr. Jones. Reason I'm calling you. Recently we sent you some information and told you it was time for your annual review on Medicare. Well, I don't remember. That's okay, Mr. Jones. We're working with other concerned seniors in the area. We'll do this free of charge to you. It'll only take me a few minutes of your time unless you got a lot of questions. Tuesday or better when I come by and do that. Well, Mr. Moulton, you do own a policy, right? Yes, you do. Oh, great, Mr. Jones. It'll only take us a couple of minutes to go over that, and we'll make sure that everything's technically correct. Tuesday, Wednesday or better. Now, you can make your own words up as you go through, but you could do it right off the cover of this one lead without getting into the text. That's how it's designed. That lead's written for power phrases and buzzwords in the lead copy. Look, we're using the envelope, we're using the cover page. So try to use all the different words. Let's go on to another one. Dear senior, each year, look at the power phrase. The federal government gets them right between the eyes, right? Federal, what are they doing to me now? Makes changes. No lie. Doing it again to me? Yeah, we make changes all the time. To the Medicare program. Now what are you taking away? Now can you imagine a senior sitting here reading this? You're taking something away, you're making changes again, you're always making changes. Don't you understand us seniors can't get, what are you doing here? They're already getting mad. I mean, they're getting upset about this deal already. And that can have a major impact or major impacts on your Medicare supplement policy. Now you're going to impact my policy again? Holy cow. Right? I mean, it's just what we're sitting back. It's a good idea to schedule an annual review of your Medicare benefits. What's in it for me? Your Medicare benefits with a licensed, qualified agent. Not only is he licensed, but he's qualified. Agent. That's a pretty strong statement in the first paragraph up at top. Now, you can always use that in your copy. Hi, I'm Don Runge with XYZ Insurance Company. Mr. Jones, I'm contacting concerned seniors in the area. We sent out a notice that it's time for an annual review regarding your Medicare benefits, and I am a licensed qualified agent to review those benefits with you. Tuesday, better Wednesday when I come by. There's no cost or obligation on your part. It's on my part. Only take a couple minutes of your time. If I can be of service to you, we sure be happy to provide that for you. Man, I'm a licensed qualified agent. I can sit here and use the copy right out of this text and build it into an approach that's legal, that's strong, that takes some time, and we got 2% of the people sending this back. Remember, the other 98% didn't send it back. I've got the 2% that were interested. Please have your current Medicare supplement policy available during the review. Now I'm telling you what to do. Get your policy out. Giving instructions. Get your policy. I can't find it. Go find that safety deposit box you didn't have and get that policy. Always got it in a safety deposit box they don't have, but that's okay. They'll find it. Get that policy back out and bring it over here now. And then it says it can be determined at this time if your current Medicare supplement policy is the right plan to meet your needs. So here's a question. It may not be the right plan to meet your needs. Because if you read all the government documents, they're telling people to review their plans all the time because it's an ever-changing law that's going on out there about Medicare and what it covers and doesn't cover. And don't think the seniors know that. They know it, for darn sure. All right, so now we're looking at visualizing what the offer is, the concern of the consumer. And then we take it back and look at offer lead copy it creates. If you look here, during the review, you receive an up-to-date summary of your Medicare benefits. You'll also learn about the service can provide full automatic Part B claims filing. In addition, you may be eligible to receive a health services discount package. Do seniors like prescription drugs? Like the fact they have that benefit? Big bell and whistle in the minds of the senior. Any one of us, by the way. If you ever had a prescription card, they took it away from the company you were with, you got upset. They could have taken away the major med card, but don't take my drug card away. Right? Prescription drug cards are a big thing for seniors. Dental, eye care, hearing, and chiropractics. And more details in the back page. That's a pretty strong copy. That's pretty strong copy. If you look at this through and through, you ought to study this and go back and look at the last page. There's your discounts. What do the discounts say that we've got back in here? Rich, what do we got discount-wise? Tell us about that.
30% on prescriptions, 50% on mail order pharmacy, 40% on dental, 45% eye care, 45% hearing, and 50% chiropractic.
Now, if that doesn't get their attention, I'm going to be real surprised. Because you hit on about 5 or 6 major areas dealing with seniors that are pretty important to them, right? Their eyes. You know, I always said, if you put benefits in there that people got to use, you're going to eat. Probably going to take care of your teeth once in a while. You probably are going to need to hear and try to get the best part of your hearing going. Chiropractic is used an awful lot by a lot of people, including seniors today. Prescription drugs are outstanding, and anybody on maintenance medication loves mail order. So you've got some real benefits in here that you can talk about marketing. So when you make the telephone call or the face-to-face call, look at your copy, study your copy. Take a look at your direct mail, see if it has a giveaway booklet announced or not. If it has a giveaway booklet, don't panic. Don't panic. Booklets are okay. Get your free information booklet. Because don't seniors all want information? But you want to ask for information, what are they telling you they want? I'm asking for information, what does that mean I have? An interest, which means I have what to find out. I got what? Answers? Do I have answers or questions? I got questions. I answer the questions. I've got all the knowledge up here. Mr. Jones, the reason I'm calling you, Jack, I want to follow up and get the questions answered that you had. I didn't say you had information. I'm calling up not in regards to the information you wanted. I'm calling to find out a time where I can come out and answer your questions regarding Medicare and what it pays and doesn't pay for. I don't say I've got the information you wanted because you think there's a booklet I'm going to drop off. Yeah, you get the booklet after I get there. But I'm not going out there to deliver the booklet. I'm going out there to answer your questions because this booklet can't explain them well enough on its own. So look at the psychology of that, because agents say, well, all they wanted was the information. They asked for this booklet. No, they didn't. You told me you had a booklet. Here's your approach. Hi, I'm Don Rudgy with XYZ Insurance Company. The reason I'm calling you, Ellen, is I got that booklet you wanted. Oh, don't come all this way 2 miles with your air conditioner. Why don't you just mail it? They're heavy, aren't they? And all they wanted was that booklet. No, you told me you had the booklet. They haven't gone to booklet training school, so they didn't know what to say. You said you baited them with the question. Said, you got the book? Okay, give it to me. And you go, okay, they took it. It's a bad lead. No. You gave them the wrong intro. So you should have said, I've got the information you want. I can answer the questions that you have regarding this issue. We come on by, take a couple minutes of your time and give it to you. Well, I thought you had some other information. Well, Mr. Jones, I do. I'm well trained and versed in this area. And by the way, when I get there, if there's any other kind of information in booklet form you want, I can send it away or try to get it for you. Or give you what I've got. Are you looking for general or specific? So we'll go into this a little bit more as we role play. So look at the way the lead's designed. Now your other lead is what? That's the final expense lead. Now that final expense lead is the same kind of context and thing here. Look what it says in the first thing. Do you qualify for government death benefits? Well, doesn't everybody want to know if they qualify? Wouldn't you want to know if you qualify for a benefit? Or what options are you eligible for, right, George? You want to know what they are. Everybody wants to know. Great power question. Even if you do, the death benefit from Social Security won't take care of your final expenses. And most people really still don't know that, by the way. They really don't know this. Much information that's around, they still don't know that in most cases. So I would do the same thing with this lead. I would go through it, I'd read it once, then I'd underline it, take a Marcelot, and then say to yourself, what would I say to somebody if that's all the information I had to make an approach up? You notice it doesn't talk about rating or quoting policies, doesn't talk about features and benefits. It strictly talks about the need, okay, and try to disturb me about the need. Make me curious. If you're curious, you want somebody to get with you. If you're not curious, you say drop it off. But if I make this real interesting and curious, you know the land deals they used to do? Come out and get a free TV, 28-inch color, whatever it is, right? Just come out to Pretty Lake out in the Ozarks or somewhere, you know, just some out place. 500 miles in East Texas. Come on out for the afternoon and you get a free TV and golf clubs. If you come out today and look at our land, and your curiosity is, I wonder if you're really going to give me the golf clubs. Well, you're going anyway because you want golf clubs. I mean, you're going down there. So you go down and you're so curious, you go, well, all they wanted me was to buy land. Well, no, why? They didn't want to just give you golf clubs free. You knew it, but you're going because you're curious. You just want to see what it's like. So curiosity is a big thing when you're dealing with people. You want to arouse their curiosity. Jones said, well, I just bought insurance. Mr. Jones, that's terrific. Can I ask you a question? Why'd you buy it? Well, I don't know. Guess I needed it. Are you sure? Think so? Good. You got a minute? You just told me you're not. You really sure? Well, because I need it. Well, Mr. Jones, why do you think you need it? Well, I don't know. Young fella came in there and told me I had to. Well, Mr. Jones, let's make sure you do need it. You okay? Got a minute? So you can do all kinds of things to get people's curiosity about this whole thing. Because remember, people always think one of two things. They're either overinsured or underinsured. Now, have you met many people who think they're underinsured? Everybody's overinsured, right? I'm going to show you how to use that to your advantage. Because there's nobody overinsured. Most people are underinsured, but they chase you away by saying they're overinsured. Well, you're not wasting your time with me, Jack. I'm overinsured. How do you know? I just know I'm paying too much. See, that's all they do. And we leave it go at that and say, well, the person had a lot of insurance. I couldn't sell them anymore. Right? That's how we relate to this thing. So they knock us off our track. So anyway, if you're using telemarketing with or without a reply card or a preheated letter, that's another type of lead. Now, another type that you have to work with is a TV lead. How many have seen the TV commercials? There's some excellent commercials. Now, who can tell me what a downside, what's one of the bad sides of working a TV lead? What's one of the negatives of a TV lead, if there is one? What's negative?
Well, they call that 800 number, and it could be any other commercial that was on there. Might not have been the lead that originally was.
Which is what you got to prepare for, right? It could be something else that they're thinking, right? They saw TV and they were watching, not Johnny Carson anymore, that was me, but they were watching Jay Leno or somebody else and saw another TV ad, or they saw something from Art Linkletter in the old days. So that could get them. What's another downside of a TV lead if you look at it that way? What's one of the negatives when you're facing work TV leads? Because I know you got some negatives. Let me get over here. I want them out. We got to get these out. We got to cleanse your souls today.
It's not personable.
It's not personable, right? It's kind of generic in a sense. Just talks to everybody. Okay, good point. What else about it? Might not be in our backyard, right? Not be 20 miles away from your work.
And they want that free memorial guide too.
Oh, they want that free memorial guide. They want that free booklet, right? So they always talk about free booklet, correct? And that's bad because they want a free booklet, right? No, that's good. See, that's good. When they want the free booklet, that means they need to see you. See, that's the thing that we talk about. We'll go over that whole thing in a role play, but that's beautiful when they say, I want that book. Say, Mr. Jones, you're sure entitled to it. I'm going to get out there as fast as I can so I can rearrange my schedule. All right? What else about TV leads? This side. Anything about TV leads? Get that back up here. Pass it up.
They may not read the fine print that an agent will call.
Oh, that's a good point. Anything up back here? I haven't touched you all in the back here yet. Thought I was going to leave it go to role play, so you're all going to do role plays here in a little minute. It's all right, don't worry about it. But anything else we can help? Anything else about TV leads that you all find? Anybody? TV leads? Now, I heard all kinds of things about TV leads. Well, all they want is the booklet. All they want is a free deal. All they want is this. All they want is that. Let me tell you, no matter what they want, that's good. See, the fact of the matter is they were preheated, pre-selected, preconditioned, and pre-sorted. We just got to get prepared. So if we're going to spend all this money and drop that TV advertisement out there and they see it, all you got to do is tag on to that. Just tag on to that because they're already preset. And you can do things like, hi, Jones is Don Runge, XYZ Insurance Company calling. Reason I'm calling, did you see our TV ad the other week? Now, what do you think the average American is going to say? Yeah. 50% will say yes, and 50% will say no. Try the survey because they saw somebody else's advertisement. They saw a casualty company's advertisement. Did you just ask? Did you ever watch TV? Is what the guy's hearing. Yep. He don't want to feel stupid. Did you ever see our ad? Yep. How'd you like it? It was good. Well, great, Mr. Jones. Did you take advantage of it yet? Nope. Good. Tuesday or Wednesday better when I come out and you can take advantage of it. Well, what am I taking advantage of? Well, based upon your interest, Mr. Jones, we have several things. Tuesday better or Wednesday. See, what you look at and do is people are going to tell you too many times what you think you want to hear. They don't remember the ads. You do, because you're in the business. So you like the ad. And you want them to say, since they've seen the ad, this is going to be a lot easier because the door is going to be 3/4 open when I get there. If it is, let me tell you, there's a Doberman there. That's the only thing I can caution you. There'll be a Doberman sitting right there if it's open. Because what they're going to do is they've seen that, and you're thinking they're already pre-conditioned to give you a sale. And that's not the case. You just want to have some kind of conversation to use because of the ad. Oh, you saw our ad. Oh, yes, I did. Great, Mr. Jones. Then did you get all your questions answered? What questions? Well, Mr. Jones, that's our job. Our job usually is to give you some questions and the answers to those questions regarding Medicare and what it pays and doesn't pay. Government says it's pretty confusing. Tuesday or better Wednesday when I come out and unconfuse any of those things that might be confusing to you, or whatever you want to say. You got to think through the process. Roll with the punches. Get yourself involved in the ad itself. Think about it. They're not going to just respond because they saw the ad. They're not going to remember everything. They just don't want another booklet to put in the library in their house. They don't collect those insurance booklets for a library. So think about that if you would. Now, to carry it to the next step, when we're talking about read, one of the things we do, how many people know what Modern Maturity Magazine is? Ever heard of Modern Maturity Magazine? Great. Now, one of the things to look at, that's sometimes a competitor to some companies in the senior market, because that belongs to another company, right? But Modern Maturity Magazine is one of the largest read periodicals or papers, if you will, to the senior market. Costs you about $7 or $8, I guess, and you can join the organization. But let me just give you an example of how you can use third-party influence if you read and look around at different news media and different news articles. For example, one of the editions, and this is kind of an old edition I carry with me, in Modern Maturity Magazine, I just carry the edition. This is an old one back. Look at what the header says. Medicare Showdown Near. If you had nothing else to do but to use that heading, you could actually call people up and say, hi, Don Runge, XYZ Insurance Company. Mr. Jones, I'm working with the concerned seniors in the area. I want to know, are you familiar with the Medicare Showdown that's near? Well, maybe. I mean, always good. See, they're always curious because it's a 50-50 question. They get under great pressure to answer you. And what are they going to say? Well, yep, good. Then you know the government's planning on cutting Medicare by $462 billion. What? He didn't read it. But that's okay. He says, what? Got his attention real quick. Well, don't panic, Mr. Jones, because there's still some options that you're eligible for as a senior. Tuesday or Wednesday, better when I come on by and explain what those options are. You could take the one header right out of a third-party endorsement, a third-party influence. Third party is always good to use because you didn't say it, they said it. And that's law when it's in the paper. So you can take it and quote it right out of here as one line. I would subscribe to that newspaper if I were you, if you're in the senior market. Why? Because every month there's tremendous articles in there that you can use as third-party reference when you're talking to people as you're meeting and greeting in the set appointments. And it's really a great way to do it. There's some great articles in there for them. So don't fight. It's not competition. They're helping you. That's free advertising. So let's go to another step. How many of you carry around the booklet called the 1997 Guide to Medicare Health, or whatever that's called? What's that called? 1997 Guide to Changes in Medicare? Right. Okay. Carry that around, right? It's a heavy booklet. Probably didn't know how valuable it is, but how many have read that booklet? How many think they've read that booklet? Ah, hands went down pretty quickly here, all right? How many still think they read that booklet? We have one. Oh, yes, okay. Barbara. All right, Barbara. Take that, please. Barbara.
Yes,
And don't worry about it. This has happened over 16,000 people, so don't feel bad.
great.
Barbara. And the rest of them chickened out on you, so don't feel bad at all, Barbara, because we'll ask them something else. What is on page 1, paragraph 1, first 3 sentences of that text, which you could use if the federal government actually issued this document? Because House Finance Committee wrote that document with the National Association of Insurance Commissioners. That's the editing power forces behind this. That's the legal entities wrote that document. So what is the essence of those first 3 sentences in page 1, paragraph 1? I'll make this easy. That you should use and know verbatim that you could use to set appointments anytime you're calling seniors. Thank you.
I carried around.
No, let's give Barbara a hand. There, no head. She was brave enough to attempt to do that, see? No, you're 17,102 now that haven't got that. Well, the point I'm only going to make to you is, this is material that you could use to your advantage, and we all said we read it. Now, you read it just like a consumer would read a lead. You glanced at it, and you skimmed it, right? You skimmed it. Now what I'd say, go back and reread every page of that booklet, because there's some powerful data in that booklet. If you read it, there's some interesting articles back in there. It says something, they changed it now. Last year it used to say, you're going to find that Medicare, first sentence of the government writing to the consumer in this booklet, a disclaimer. You're going to find out that there's a lot of dealings with Medicare that you're going to find complex and confusing. Sentence 1. The new one in this new edition says that you might not find understandable. I think the government heard I was using their stuff, and they changed it this year. The guru got them, and they moved the 2 words out of there because I love complex and confusing. And those are the exact words in sentence 1, complex and confusing. And then it goes to sentence 2 in the booklet and goes on and says, you probably don't know what Medicare pays and doesn't pay for. No lie. DRG system, right? That's sentence 2. And then it says sentence 3, you probably be uncertain, but you should really look at your beneficiaries and see if there's more insurance that you should be buying. That's the first 3 sentences of a 30-some page document. First of all, what it says is, look, we're publishing this because we don't know how else to communicate with you. Secondly, we don't understand it, you don't understand it. We can't explain it, so don't help us, but we gave you the book. Now, we got a disclaimer in here, and you better find an agent. Go read the booklet. I'm serious. Read the booklet and look in there. It tells you to change insurance. It tells you to replace policies. It tells you to make comparisons on a regular basis because your plan might be out of date. That's on page 20. Go through and look at that and underline some powerful stuff you could use in your conversation on the left side of your brain that would help you go in there. Hi, Mr. Jones, Don Runge calling. I'm with XYZ Insurance Company. I'm working with concerned seniors here in Slippery Rock County. And the reason I'm calling you today, do you realize that Medicare is complex and confusing, even according to the government? Well, that's no lie. I'm glad they admitted that. Well, they sure did, Mr. Jones. And I'll tell you what, we now are in a position to be able to explain and take out some of that mystery and explain exactly how the payment system works. Tuesday or Wednesday, better when I come on by and do that for you. There's no cost or obligation on your part. The obligation is on our part. And we feel pretty good if you can walk out there and you're a more informed consumer when I leave. Would that be okay? Great. Tuesday or Wednesday, better. You could take something right out of the document. You can quote the book. It's right in the book. They say it right in the book. You got a third party working for you. You got the hot button government working for you. You got the fact it's complex and confusing working for you. And the government says it is. We're publishing this booklet, but don't read on your own because you won't know what you're doing. What a beautiful scenario. And that's why you want to read and perceive what you read. Look into it. And the documents are being published for us today to use it to our advantage. Don't look at it as a negative. This government restrictions and regulations becomes a positive. Learn how to use it as a positive. There's always a positive to the negative when you look at it. So that's the positive. How do you use that data to help yourself bridge the gap? When you look on the other side of this door, that defensive player over here says, come on our side. It's cold over there. Okay, I'm coming in. I'm going around that side door over here. I'm in with you. That government's over there. I'll help you. Okay, yeah, you got it. See, I can go around the side door now. See, because I'm working with them. They understand what's confusing out there. I'm going to help them out. So think about that when you're out there approaching leads and when you're building phone approaches or front door approaches. Think about how you can get yourself involved inside of this. Think about that. That's what the consumer is looking for. They are confused. They are concerned. They're worried. We talked about that all day. And the government says, you ought to be. Because we can't even figure out what we wrote. They're admitting it. They can't explain the laws. It's down to 35 pages right now. But yet they got to put a disclaimer in there. Now, another way to look at this, just your normal reading in the newspapers. This is an article from November of last year. Front page article, USA Today, news media, CNN News, and we're out there working turning 65s. People are going to have a birthday, right? They're going to turn age 65, so they got to have some health insurance. This is the front page headline on USA Today. Front page, Senate would lift Medicare to age 67. You don't think, Ellen, that we scared some seniors about that puppy? They read that one and didn't sleep. They're ready to march. Can you imagine sitting home in your living room and you're going to be turning 65 and that's announced on TV? Well, what's the good news today, Harriet? Well, the government's going to change our health insurance. We ain't going to get any till we're 67. Huh? What are they doing to us now? You call up and say, hi, Don Runge. I'm with XYZ Insurance Company. I'm working concerned seniors in the area. Mr. Jones, did you see the news last night? Did you see the newspaper last week? Did you see what CNN just said the other day about Medicare? Well, yeah. Well, good. Then you know what they're doing with the eligibility age to people who are going to be turning 65. No. Well, you didn't read it. You just told me you did. It's okay. I got that. I flushed that one out. You said, oh, you did read it. Great. Then you know what the government's planning on doing. Are you going to be turning 65? Well, I already know they're turning 65. I'm working a turning 65 list. Are you turning 60? Oh, yes, oh, am I glad I called you. But I'll tell you what the government's going to do? They're trying to change that age to 67 and make you pay a couple extra years. What? Don't get excited. Don't get excited. There's still some options you're eligible for, and I'm going to be out in your area next week. I'm pretty busy, but I can work you in Tuesday or Wednesday. You got morning, afternoon, or evenings free. They're waiting. They're getting fired up. They put a new uniform on. They're going to be ready. They're ready. See, you're using front headlines, newspaper, what they're printing to cause curiosity and let them see it because they don't have answers. They have a lot of information overload, but they don't have answers. You have answers. Let me put it to you this way. Did you ever think that you all present magic? Did you ever think what you sell is magic? Think of it this way. You go to somebody's home that there's only two sources of money, dollars at work and people at work. They're only left with dollars at work, and everybody's pecking away at that money bucket, right? Taxes, Social Security, Medicare, everybody's pecking away. You come in, and for about 10 cents on the dollar, you let them keep their bucket of money intact to make sure that no matter what happens to their health, their income, or their assets, they're protected. That's magic. That's magic. You getting through this door create magic, not like the guru. When you step through here and they allow you to sit down and they allow you to trust you, can you imagine that you're the only one out there right now that basically for 10 cents on the dollar can make sure nobody can destroy my bucket of money and take my assets from me, destroy my income on me, right? Or allow me to go broke because of my health. And I can use the insurance company money to provide magic to create those dollars there that I can only lose. That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable to me. That's how I look. That's magic to me. That is instant magic. I am creating a pool of money using somebody else's money and only putting up 10 cents on the dollar. And I can keep my bucket of money intact because my job is protect income, assets, and health. That's all I do for a living. I protect income, assets, and health. I don't sell long-term care, med sup, and final expense. That's technical jargon. I'm out here to help you protect income, assets, and your health. And I do that in a professional manner, and I create magic for you. Because when I leave, that's all protected. Or 1/3 of it is, or 2/3 of it is, all 3/3, depending on what we do together. And I don't destroy your peace of mind. I don't destroy your dignity. I let you remain in your same world. That's magic. That's my terminology of magic. That's unbelievable when you look at that. So you need to get inside that door because you're one of the few people that create magic. Because that's what I deliver. I don't deliver selling long-term care policies or final expense policies. I'm protecting income, assets, and health. They can understand that, by the way. Do you know any senior living today that don't want to protect their income, their assets, and their health? Know anybody like that walking around? No. Everybody does. And that's what you deliver. Now stop the tape. While reading your lead or script copy, as well as other lead support materials, is often overlooked. Now take a lead or one of your scripts and follow what I suggest. First, read your lead. Then reread your lead or script and underline or circle every buzzword or power phrase you can identify. Then do the same procedure with any other third-party material, such as radio, TV copy, etc. And always refer back to step 1, analyze, and add these buzzwords and power phrases to your list. Now start your tape and listen to the 5th step, organize. Now, O is really the second part of the back end of our program, which we talked about and was exemplified by the word ROACH, or the acronym ROACH. It's organize, and the O stands for organize. What the simple saying is here, don't work the same lead twice. Let me explain that to you. It doesn't mean we don't work leads more than once, but there's a method in an organization to working leads. I see salespeople struggle when trying to organize to get a lead program together as part of a prospecting system. Lead programs by themselves have a very short shelf life. I'm sure agents have worked leads before and you're in the same room. Lead programs lead you almost to the point where you'll be out of business. If that's all you rely on are leads per se with the word lead. What you want is a lead prospecting system. You want an organized way that you can see maximum number of people every single day. You just can't wait for a lead card to come in and say, I can't work till I get this lead. That's not the premise behind a lead program. Lead programs should be part of a prospecting system so that you never run out of people to see. And that's the key to success in our business. For example, we did studies. By simply monitoring telephone sessions of agents, standing there with a supervisor, listening to phone calls, only telephone, and actually standing there and monitoring for an hour to 2 hours in an evening, we doubled the activities of the average agents in 3 companies over a 6-month period of time. Doing nothing different than making sure somebody monitored your phone calls. Doubled activity and production. That's it. That's simple. So you got to organize in a lot of different ways, and I'll show you how to do that. One of the slogans we have are the 6 P's, I call it. Proper prior preparation prevents poor performance. We talked about this earlier. You've got to really prepare yourself and organize where you're going. Now, let me explain it to you. If you're driving 16 miles to go chase down one lead card, and you have nobody else to see going to or coming back from that call, that is not proper prior preparation. That's not proper prior preparation because you don't want to drive 10 miles for one lead call and not see anybody else. You don't want to do that because that's wasting time. You're rolling the dice. If that person's not there, then you're really frustrated, right? Well, I drove the 10 miles, the lead was no good, they weren't there. Or you get out there and you don't sell them, or you get out there and uninsurable. So now you're really frustrated, so you say, what a bad day I had. If you said I just saw 45 people, now we're talking. See, if you worked with one insurance company, which you won't name, if you don't see at least 30 people a day, they don't pick you back up again for a week. They leave you out in the town, but we won't mention names. And we're not practicing or preaching that philosophy. So let's talk about organizing. When I'm talking about organizing, I'm talking about your lead cards, your reply cards, your late repliers. What do we mean by late repliers? Sheila, can you tell me what I mean by late replier?
No.
No idea. No. How about you, George? Any idea? Late one.
A late replier would be somebody that doesn't send in a card right away after you get it mailed to them.
Great, excellent. Late replier, a lot of people call them non-responders. We do 1,000 mailings, 20 cards come back, right? That means 980 people were just a little bit late getting their card back to you. No, I mean, it's fact of life. That's not a play on words. 980 just took a little more time. They couldn't get the stamp select fast enough. Now, let me prove it to you. Let me prove it to you. We did a mailing to 1,000 people, and we got 20 cards back. We mailed the same 1,000 people the very next week and changed the envelope, not the copy of the letter. Guess how many we got back the next week? 20. One duplication. We did it for 11 consecutive weeks to the same 1,000 people. Got 20 back every week for 11 consecutive weeks with one duplication. That says they're late responders. They're not non-responders. If we keep mailing them long enough, they're all going to respond. We just didn't hit them at the right 30 seconds. So logic says to you and I as business people, why would I keep mailing you every week? Why don't I just call you? You're not going to remember whether I mailed you or not anyway, right? It's not an amnesia test or something. Just call up. You say, hi, Don Runge, with XYZ Insurance Company. Mr. Jones, the reason I'm calling you. I'm following back up to a letter we sent you a week or so ago. Well, I remember it. That's okay. It's the reason I'm calling, Mr. Jones. Most people don't. It's kind of like a lot of other mail gets out there, and I just wanted to stop on by and answer your questions. Answer your questions about what? Are you familiar with all the tax law changes with Medicare and how it affects you as an individual? No. Well, you're not. Good. That's the reason I'm calling you. Tuesday, better Wednesday when I come by and explain that to you. You can go on and on and on and make things up. My point to you is you don't have to wait for reply cards to go work. So that's not the key. That's somebody waiting to work a lead program. See, that's saying I'm waiting for the easy sales to come up, so I'll keep waiting. Well, you'll be waiting a long time. See, because this business, if you're reactive, you're out of business. If you're proactive, you're in business. That's the only difference. Reactive means I'll wait till I get cards. Proactive says I'll take what I got and make more. Simple difference. So you've got to be proactive when you're prospecting. See, the people are already preheated, pre-selected, preconditioned. They're already ready for it if you're prepared to say something to them. I gave you examples of what you could say right out of the newspaper and other places. All right, let's talk about this. Callbacks. Everybody know what a callback is, right? Yeah. Didn't sell somebody, you're calling them back. You didn't reach them, you're calling them back, that type of thing. Organize your referrals. I know that's a dirty word, but referrals are okay. And let me say to you something about referrals. If you organize yourself properly and work this lead prospecting system, what we're going to show you in a minute, you will get more referred leads than the average agent has ever thought about getting in the insurance business. Guarantee it. Who says that on that suit guy all the time? And I guarantee it. Whoever that guy is that sells suits on TV all the time. I can't remember his name. But he always guarantees everything out there. Men's Warehouse. That's right. It's my next job. All right. Free booklets. Now you get these free booklets, Medicare booklets and whatever. Those are dynamite. But here's the point. You're not delivering booklets for a living. You're answering questions. And when the questions are answered, you can give them a booklet that will answer some more of them, but not all of them. Because if there was a booklet out there to answer all the questions, we wouldn't need to talk to anybody else. And they're not. People have not been to insurance school. They don't have a degree in it, so they're not going to understand it. I could hand the average consumer a rate book, and I'll guarantee if I give it to them for a week to study, they won't figure the rates out. We have a hard time after 10 and 12 years in the business figuring the rates. They keep changing the books on us, right? They're not going to know how to do that stuff. Routing schedule, which is what we're going to talk about. Here's a proposition I'd like to offer you. If I could show you a way to average 15 appointments every single week while you're in the insurance business, and you schedule them one time, you'd said 15, and you'd never have to go back to the office or any week and schedule 15 from ground zero again. You could schedule 15 one time and never have to sit down and schedule 15 brand new ones ever again at one time. Would that be important? You sure? Yeah. Checking it out. Okay, I'm just checking you. All right, and there's no gimmicks here. I'm not going to make, this is not a gimmicks. This is not guru stuff doing to you or anything else. No magic, no crystal ball. This is fact. I'm going to show you something. Now, the other thing is you'll avoid burnout. But there's a couple conditions we got to go through. So before I go through the conditions, I'd like you to take this one page that was handed out to you. It's got some blanks on it. It's this page right here. It's got the blanks with some lead sources on there. It's a single page. At the top of it, it says, organize your lead prospecting activity. All right, I'd like you to go through that page with me now. Here's what I'd like you to do. If you'll see, the first one says, exercise a policyholders, right? How many policyholders would you need as an individual, do you think, Gene and everybody in the audience, do you think you're going to need if you told me I was your manager and you said, Don, if you give me 10 policyholders, I'll guarantee you I'll set 3 appointments. Here's how many policyholder names I need this week, Jack, to schedule 3 appointments. I need 10 of them, or I need 8 of them, or I need 6 of them, or I need 16. I don't know how many you need. How many do you think you're going to need if they give you 8 or 10 or 12 policyholders? How many do you think you need in order to get 3 appointments scheduled? Now, these are orphan policyholders. Don't have an agent. They're paying premiums to the company, been loyal to your company, don't have an agent. And you're going to be assigned so many of those policyholders. How many do you think you're going to need to get 3 appointments scheduled? Write that number down. All right? If you don't know, take a guess. You shouldn't be more than 10. Give you a hint. Late responders. I just covered what late responders were. If you had late responder names, people who were preheated, pre-selected, preconditioned, you just got to get prepared to work them. You got a phone approach your front door that works. You know what to do because you got your script laid out. How many of those names would you ask your manager for in a week, do you think, in order to get 3 appointments scheduled? How many of those names you're going to have to go through? You might not reach them all and all that kind of stuff, but how many names do you think you'd ask for? 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, whatever you need. Put it down, whatever number you think's right. All right, what's the next one? Responders to direct mail. These are the fresh baked cookies. These are the chocolate chips. These are the fresh leads coming out of the oven. They're the response cards that just came back in the last 2 weeks. How many of those response cards that we showed you today, the final expense, the med sup, how many of those do you think you'll need to schedule 3 appointments? I don't care if you use the telephone or go face to face. Write down a number, whatever that number is going to be. All right, what about this one? Turning 65 names. These are people who are seniors that are having a birthday, right? Chronological birthday and insurance birthday. They're going to be turning 65. You're going to get the names. Big reason to call them is because they know they're going to buy some insurance. They don't have to worry about their health conditions and all that stuff, right? So how many of those names with a good approach do you think you need each week to schedule 3 appointments? Okay, Ron, we're set there? Now, the last one's referred leads. That's too tough. Take that off. Cross that out. Put recycle leads, the old leads, the rolled up 20s. Recycle leads. How many of those old recycle leads do you need to get 3 appointments? The ones that have been in your barn or a coffee cup or wherever you're holding them, the ones that Ellen's got in her trunk out there hermetically sealed, how many do you need of those? So whatever it's going to be, 10, 20. Now, do me a favor. Add up the total number of names that you need and put it in that blank. Total number of names you need. Add them up. Okay, add up your total. And nobody has to have the same total. There's no right number here. All right, now you look over to the next column. It says that's 15 appointments, right? You would schedule 3 appointments from 5 different sources. That's the 15. So you've all signed on and said, I can get 15 appointments if you give me that many names. Now to make it up, you can change what you need to change. Let me ask you, show of hands. How many people need more than 150 names to get those 15 appointments? 1, 2, couple, 150 or more. 150 or more. How many need less than 100? How many need less than 50? How many between 100 and 150? Okay. Now, the actual number that does pop up, by the way, is about 110. I'm just showing you across the United States doing this for over 700 seminars and about 17,000 people. It's about 110. Give or take 20. I don't care. It doesn't make you right or wrong. Just stay with me. All right, so we got the number of names you need, even if it's 200. Here's the commitments you have to make. First of all, you got to commit 1 full day of your life out of your career. You got to call your loved one, your spouse, your live-in, whatever the condition you might reside in. You got to call that person and say, I'm not going to be home for 24 hours. Do not call the police. I'm not coming home. I'm going to be working on prospecting. Now, first of all, I don't believe you need 24 hours to schedule 15 appointments.